Welcome to my first YouTube video. A little nervous to be here, not sure how this is gonna go, but I hope you enjoy it. So today I really want to share my story with you. Where I've come from, how did I get to the point I'm at today, and specifically, what were the main things that helped me along my journey. And so today I'm hoping to share something that might inspire somebody to choose differently in their lives, to choose a path that they might not have always thought they wanted to choose, or that they have always wanted to choose but always thought they couldn't choose it. So I hope that this gives you a little bit of inspiration and it allows you to create whatever you want it is in your life, because let me tell you, it is possible. So my journey to choosing me began when I graduated from high school and I decided to start university. So the real me wanted to not go to university. I wanted to travel, see the world, let loose for a bit, try to figure out what it is that I wanted to do with my life. Because to me, nothing was really speaking to me at the time, and nothing was super clear, like, oh my gosh, it wasn't like the waters parted ways and it was like, that is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And I wish it was that way, but it wasn't. So fast forward, I decided to go to university, and the main reason I decided to go to university was because I really wanted my parents' approval and my grandparents' approval and my family's approval. So it was important to me to make them happy. And that being said, I'm a major people pleaser. And in the long term, I'm really glad that this happened because I learned a lot about myself. But in the short term, I had to go through some bumpy things in order to really get clarity as to where I wanted to be, what I wanted to do. So fast forward to university, and first year was fun. I got to meet a lot of new people. I was taking, just introductory courses just to see, kind of get my feet wet in what I wanted to do. Come second year, things have to get a little bit more serious. And at that point, I just realized that the environment at university just wasn't for me. I really wanted to make it work, and I really was trying hard, but I fell into a really bad depression to the point where I didn't want to get out of bed. I was snacking super hard and gaining a lot of weight because what else is there to do when you're just like super depressed and don't want to go to class? I was sleeping in a lot. I just really was unhappy with where I was at in my life because I wasn't doing well. I wasn't getting the grades that I wanted to. I wasn't putting the time and the effort into what I was studying because I didn't truly want to be doing that. I didn't care to read something and then regurgitate the information. I'm a super hands-on type of person. And to me, I had to be hands-on in it, learning it, like putting my skill set to use and writing essays and sitting there, and like my attention span wasn't in the right mindset. So after year two, I had to make a decision because I was wasting a lot of money, just like, there it goes. Wasting a lot of money in university, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to be a server or bartender anymore. I didn't want to be working the late nights that I had to in order to pay for books. And so I decided to make a choice. And my parents weren't happy with me. No one was really happy with me, but I was really happy with me. And I decided to choose something for me that was speaking to me at the time, that I was super interested in, that I was enamored with. And that thing at the time was makeup artistry. So I went to the College of Makeup Art and Design in Toronto. I applied, I got in, I was super excited. I packed up 2 suitcases and my laptop, and I moved to Toronto. And at the time, I was deciding between Blanche Macdonald or Complexions, which is now called College of Makeup Art and Design. And again, I'm a people pleaser. And the person I was dating at the time wanted to move to Toronto. And he had gotten a job, and it was set in stone that he was going. And I didn't want the relationship to end, and I wanted to make it work. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna choose Toronto. But in my heart, I really knew I wanted Vancouver, and I really wanted to go to Blanche Macdonald at the time. But everything happens for a reason. And so I moved to Toronto, I finished school, and I realized I'm really good at this, and I'm really good at making connections and working on set. I'm super professional, and I love doing it, and I got a ton of opportunities, and it was fantastic. However, my relationship wasn't going great. It was a time of expansion and learning and growing and truly having things come to the surface that I wasn't dealing with in the past. And so my relationship came to an end, and I was working at a job. It was a retail makeup job, and it felt like I had sold my soul because I no longer was doing it for the artistry. I had gotten into a management role, and I was not happy with it, and I was miserable, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I totally love makeup and I love the artistry, but why am I not happy yet? I chose something that I was supposed to love and fell in love with, but I'm not happy. And so that's when I decided to move back home. And my hometown is Winnipeg. Born and raised, very proud. So I moved back to Winnipeg, and I decided to go back to serving and go back to school because that was the logical thing to do. So instead of university, I decided to go to Red River College, and I absolutely loved it there. It was so hands-on, practical use applications. The teachers actually really care about you there. And that was the coolest part, that I actually had connections with some of the teachers that were there, and Red River is still a part of my community today, and all the students that go there, and I love the school so much. So I started my first year of business admin. I made so many great friends. They were awesome. But again, on the other side of it, to make money, I was bartending and I was serving, and it was not the life I wanted to be leading. And to me, I had to figure out a way to get out of it. And at the time, I had this diploma and all of this knowledge that I was like, well, I'm not using this. I have to be using this. Like, why can't I integrate this somehow while I'm going through school? So I decided to do weddings on the side, and I did makeup on the weekends. And then I said, I need something a little bit more sustainable than this. And then I decided that what was the one thing I loved to do more than anything? And when it came to creating a face for makeup, the most important aspect of the face is the eyebrows. So with that being said, I had learned how to shape eyebrows and measure them out properly, and how to be really specific for each individual person when it came to creating eyebrows. And I wanted to offer that service in Winnipeg because I was looking for somebody to do mine, because it's kind of hard to measure out your own face and then wax your own face. So I decided to look out and seek somebody who specialized it, and I couldn't find it. So I decided to start my own. Just out of my apartment, I went to a beauty salon or distributor, and I decided to buy a used chair that was broken for like $45. And I had my dad help me reclaim it and refurbish it. And for a whole whopping $100, I had this semi-brand new chair. And I started to just network via word of mouth. So I had friends and family come over, I did their brows for them, I told them to tell other people started coming. I decided to make a online booking service because I wanted it to be easy for people to go on, because if I was in class and I couldn't answer my phone or my messages, I wanted them to be able to go on and book right away. So before I knew it, I had so many people coming to my house, and I had no room left for them, and I didn't want people waiting outside, and it was in my own space. So I decided it was time to upgrade. And one of my dearest friends now, she actually reached out to me at the perfect time. It was like divine timing, I swear. She messaged me on Instagram, and she said, hey, I own a sugaring studio. I have an extra room and an extra space. Would you ever be interested in renting from me? And so I decided to check it out. go in there with an open mind, and fell in love with her, fell in love with the space, and I said, yeah, let's do it. But at the time, I was so scared because in my mind, I was like, how am I going to pay for the rent? What if nobody comes? What if this is a huge mistake? And I just said, you know what? If I don't do it now, I'll never know. So I opened up my chair in there, and then I started to get busy to the point where, again, I couldn't take all these people. So I decided that I had to make a choice, either finish school or start my business. And at the time, it was a really hard decision because I was halfway through my program, but yet there was this opportunity on the other end of it that was so exciting to me that I knew I could learn a lot from. So it basically boiled down to, school is always going to be there. I can come back to it at any point in time that I want in my life, and it's always going to be there. But my business, I don't know if this opportunity is going to present itself again. So I decided to go for it. And then from there, that's how my business started. And for me, it was a lot of learning curves along the way, a lot of understanding systems and taxes and policies and understanding health and safety regulations, understanding permitting, understanding employment agreements, understanding so many aspects of business that were completely new to me and that I had to learn on the spot. How to create a website. I created my first website by myself. I had to figure that out. I had to figure out how to, create an automated system so that when people were messaging me, I could give them all the information back without having to retype everything. I had to do my own marketing. I had to figure out how to network even further with people. So all of this came with starting my business. And it took a long time for me to slowly gain the momentum. But once I started going and I decided to invest my whole heart, my whole energy and time into it, really amazing things started to happen. So for those of you who are out there who think that they have to do something to make somebody else happy, I'm here to tell you that if you follow your heart, it's going to take a lot of work, but it is going to be so worth it in the end when you choose you. When you choose that thing that lights your soul on fire and you want to create and do, the universe is going to test you at the same time. It's going to test you to see if it's really what you want to be doing, because you're going to have a lot of roadblocks that pop up along the way. And I still get roadblocks to the point where I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Is this right for my life? So it is really, really important to know that it's not about getting somewhere and being really successful in the eyes of others. I think the key here is, are you going to enjoy the journey? Are you going to enjoy every step of the way, good or bad? Does it set your soul on fire? Does it make you want to work harder? Do the setbacks make you stronger? Because let me tell you, the more setbacks I have, the stronger I become. The more knowledge I have behind me, the more I'm able to get myself to that next level because I have the experience behind me. So if you are letting something stop you from being successful, from allowing yourself to succeed, you got to question if it's really what you want to be doing. Because if it's not, give yourself the space, the energy, and the time to find that right thing for you. You'll know deep inside, it's like an inner gut feeling, whether or not it's right for you. And if you listen to that voice, I guarantee you, happiness will follow. True, real happiness will begin to follow you if you do that. So I hope, I'm kind of all over the place with this story, but I hope that inspires you to really think about what you're doing in your life and really start to question what it is that you love and what you're aligning yourself with, because it's really going to open the door to so many possibilities. And I can guarantee that if you decide to follow that intuition and that gut feeling, that things are going to be placed in your path that are going to confirm things for you or deny things, right? And so by listening and being super open to whatever comes your way, magic is going to start to happen. So that's a little bit about my journey, which led me to starting my business. And I think the key here is that you don't have to be perfect at something in order to succeed. You just have to try hard and give it your all and want the genuine best for those around you and those that you want to provide the service for, or whatever it is that you're doing. It's for the greater good. And, you know, people would argue that it's money that drives people. But if you just chase money, you're not going to get anywhere. And I can tell you that the second that my focus shifts to money versus the love of what I'm doing, I encounter so many roadblocks and so many things that just say, this is not the right choice. This is not why you're doing what you're doing. So if I shift back to like that mindset of, no, I'm in alignment with what I want to be doing. I'm being really honest and truthful with why I'm doing it and what I'm trying to create in the world. I swear it's like the most magic you will ever feel, experience in your entire life. And I say magic because it's what we create. Sometimes we think, oh, magic is like, you know, you wave a magic wand and poof, it's there. But it's true. Like if you start with a thought in your mind that you can create whatever it is that you want to create, it will eventually become your reality. So that poof action, it might not happen instantaneously, but what it does is it allows whatever you have going on in your mind, it takes some work, but it's going to show up in your reality sooner or later. So I hope you trust your intuition and your gut. I hope that my story has inspired you to just at least even start to ponder the things that you've chosen in your life and where you want to go in the future. Thank you.